Hey, this is Brock from Eagle Crest Studios, and today I'm going to be showing you how to turn an old barnwood slab into a beautiful floating shelf without the hardware and without the stress. So the first thing we have to do is cut our piece to length. So we had an old board, and as you can see, it's kind of warped on one side, so I wanted to get a nice clean edge, and that's why I made that first cut there. Next, I want two 24-inch boards, so I'm cutting this 24 inches, which is roughly right down the center of my piece. To make sure I get a nice square edge, I'm using my square here on the flat surface to get a straight edge when I cut my piece. This isn't really necessary because the miter saw is going to be cutting straight anyways, but just a good way to have the visual representation of where I need to cut. Now what I'm doing here is I'm flipping the board on its side and actually drilling in. So what we're going to be doing is putting dowels in the side of the piece. So you want to drill straight into the side, and because if you go at an angle, you're going to be popping out on the front or the bottom of your board, which is not going to look good. Now a helpful tip is to put a little piece of tape, as you can see I did here. This is good just because it can show you how deep you're going, and you can keep all your holes the same distance. Now in this next part, what we're going to be doing is cutting roughly 1.5 inches from the side we just drilled. And the reason why we're doing that is that we want to drill this piece of wood that we're cutting into our studs of our house. And then what we're going to use are dowels to attach the rest of the wood to the piece we drilled into the wall. So this way we have a nice secure piece of wood into the wall, but then we don't have any of the screws or anything showing. Here are my 3 dowels. I'm using 3 pieces of metal from a hardware store, but feel free to use wooden dowels if your shelf is a little bit smaller. Now, as I talked about before, what I'm doing now is drilling that piece of wood that we just cut directly into my studs. Now, you want to make sure you pre-drill your holes, which is what I'm doing here. And also, you want to make sure you're lined up with your studs so you're actually tying in to a secure part of your house, not just drywall. You also want to make sure you don't have any pipes going behind you, or as you see there, I have an electrical outlet. You want to make sure you're not going to get shocked. So please be careful. Make sure you know where you're drilling before you do this. Now once the dowels are in, I put a little of olive oil on them to make it easier for the last piece of the board to go in. Once I did that, I just slid my board on, tapped it with the back of my tool, and then I was good to go. You can see here it's nice, stable, secure, and we're all set. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if there are any questions.